Hey ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and Republican Representative Nancy Mace has apparently had her life threatened because of legislation she's introduced. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. And if you're not watching us on YouTube, please check that address in the lower right-hand corner. It's youtube.com/@explainamerica. And hit subscribe absolutely free. It really helps us out. Nancy Mace introduced legislation that would keep biological men out of women's facilities in the Capitol, no matter how they identify with their gender identity. I'm not here to argue the merits of that. You can think about it what you want. I can think about it what I want. That's not really the point. The point is she introduced the legislation, and now people are threatening her life, threatening to physically assault her. What I'm saying to you is no matter what you think of the legislation, that's wrong. You don't threaten somebody. And for her to, whatever stance she takes, you agree with it, you don't agree with it, that's fine. But you don't threaten somebody's life. You don't threaten their families, their children, their physical safety. These are things we don't do in America. In America, we protest, we write letters, and we vote. And that's the ultimate way you deal with a politician you don't like. You vote. See, you don't like them, you vote for somebody else. And if you don't live where they live, then you donate to people who are their opponents. Or you make cold calls for them if you can't afford to donate. You volunteer, you do things. But you don't threaten people. I want you to listen to what Ms. Mace had to say here. Listen to the representative and then let me know what you think in the comments.
Representative Nancy Mace, South Carolina Congresswoman, member of the Oversight and Reform Committee, is with us. Nice to see you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Well. I'm wondering if Hakeem Jeffries is missing the point. Was this the lesson of the last election?
Well, clearly Hakeem Jeffries and the left didn't learn any lessons from the election 2 weeks ago. And it's the height of gaslighting to have this guy, a man, Hakeem Jeffries, try to bully me into submission. Look, I am a rape survivor. I'm a survivor of sexual violence and abuse. And I know how vulnerable women and girls are in private spaces. And the question at the end of the day is, do women have rights or not? I mean, this question must be answered. And it doesn't end on Capitol Hill. This stuff is going on all across the country. I'm going to file multiple bills on measures like this because I'm going to fight to protect women and girls. Like, this is not okay. And I'm someone who's very socially sensible, but at some point we have to draw a line with this insanity. And this is a big, fat red line for me.
All right. So Sarah McBride has responded. This is a blatant attempt from far right-wing extremists to distract from the fact that they have no real solutions to what Americans are facing. We should be focused on bringing down the cost of housing, healthcare, childcare, not manufacturing culture wars. There's a few points here. My biggest question, why do you think this is a sacred cow for the Democrats, number one, and why do they refuse to acknowledge what the voters told us 2 weeks ago, that there's women who have sincerely held beliefs and fears about biological men in women's bathrooms, locker rooms, sports teams?
This is a real thing. This isn't manufactured. This person wants to come in and use women's spaces. If I'm in as a woman, I'm changing clothes in the locker room because I use the gym when I'm up here in D.C., the women's gym, and a man shows up and his genitalia, his penis is in the room. No. Like, it's not okay.
Boy, I think that's the first time that's happened on the show, but okay.
I mean, she can go to Planet Fitness where it's okay for a middle-aged man to be, in his boxers and have an underage girl in a towel, fearful in the corner. Not up here. I can't even, the idea of that is a trigger for me. I have PTSD from the abuse that I've suffered. And I'm going to do everything I can to protect women and girls. I know how vulnerable we are in private spaces. If you're changing clothes, men shouldn't be anywhere in the room, period. And
I find it hard. I find it hard to argue with you. I don't have a daughter, but I can imagine if I did, that's how I would feel. You're picking up on something that Donald Trump picked up on in the election. This was the most effective ad for Republicans. Take a listen.
Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
Hell no, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to that.
Kamala supports transgender sex changes in jail with our money.
Kamala even supports letting biological men compete against our girls in their sports. Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you.
You say more bills.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that means that this is going to extend beyond Capitol Hill
100%.
to where?
Well, I want it to extend to all federal property. I wanted it to extend
So that's national parks, that's any federal office, that's
everywhere. And
Okay.
I also want to extend it to any educational institution or school or place of higher learning that gets any federal funding. I mean, this is only the start, and I'm not going to stop. They are threatening to kill me over this. Men that want to use women's restrooms are threatening to kill me over this issue. Good luck. I was the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the Military College of South Carolina, and if we haven't met yet, I want all the bullies online to know you will not bully me into submission. I can't be threatened. You can't threaten my life enough. That means I'm just going to double and triple, quadruple down on this issue because I'm a girl mom. I employ women. I want to be sure that I protect women everywhere. And this fight doesn't end on Capitol Hill because I have a lot of women writing me in and saying, why is this allowed? Why are we going to prohibit this on the Capitol? But what are we going to do about the rest of the country? It's a fair question.